Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Eureka Springs channel. I'm Melody Purdy, your host, and we're coming to you live from Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Eureka Springs channel is here to bring you all of the celebrated people in Eureka Springs, and we are here to celebrate mainly the good people of Eureka Springs, the good places that serve our community and our tourists every day, and some good news that you might want to hear about every now and then that's coming out of Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Today, I have a special guest, and we've not interviewed her before, Miss Jane Elzey. Jane has got some great information to share with us today coming up, and we're going to bring her on board. But to interview her, I'd like to just tell you a few things about Jane. Jane is a mischief maker, and I can almost testify to that. She's quite a lot of fun to be with. I've had the joy of sitting around campfire with her at Got a Whole Brewery and enjoy her very much. But more than anything, she's a storyteller and a bender of facts. She's a career journalist. She writes modern day, not so cozy mysteries without much regard for the truth. She enjoys turning her travel adventures into backdrop settings for her stories, sharing destinations with readers on the hunt for whodunit. That's the best part. She's born and raised as a wild child on the Florida sandy beaches, and Jane now lives in the Ozark Mountains here in Eureka Springs. And she writes about 4 women who love to play games while their husbands die trying. And the husband always dies. If you like playing games with friends whose southern sass is anything but cookie cutter sweet, then you'll love Jane Elzey's high drama whodunits. Boy, isn't that fun? I'm just already having fun just reading her biography. And so she's quite a celebrated artist here in Eureka Springs. So I'm going to bring Jane on board to y'all guys, if you're out there, say yay, and you can make comments in our comment section. Say hi to Jane. Hey, Jane.
Hey.
I love you.
Now that's a stretch.
Yes, we celebrate you because you have so many things going on in your life, and you as an individual are so interesting. I love to hear some of the conversations that you have and your travels and the adventures that you have. And it's without a doubt that you have allowed that to spill over into your writing.
Yes.
But I guess the one question right away, because it struck me as an interesting way to describe your books, a cozy mystery. What is a cozy mystery?
So a cozy mystery is a genre of mystery. There are just thousands and thousands of different genre of fiction, specifically. And it really is a category that bookshops and libraries and big publishers use to catalog where does a book go on the shelf so that people can find it when they're looking for it. A cozy mystery has a certain attitude in the genre, and you follow some rules, which I'm not a real big rule follower. So this was a real exercise for me. So a cozy mystery is a mystery. It's usually an amateur sleuth. Women make great amateur sleuths because we're so smart. And she usually has a little clutch of friends who help her solve the mystery when she needs their help, and they get in the way when she doesn't. And there is no sex. There is no violence. There's a murder, but we don't really see that happen. No blood and guts and gore. And there is no cursing. And so that is sort of the structure of the genre, of the cozy genre. And we're familiar with them. There's a lot of them. Joanne Fluke, the baker did this and the cookie cutter did that and all of that. My my 4 protagonists are not so cookie cutter sweet. They like to get into trouble, and they do get into trouble. And so I followed the rules of the genre, the cozy mystery genre, as well as I can follow it and still stay true to myself. Carl Hyacin, who's just a fabulous author, If you've never read Carl Hiaasen, you need to get to it. Tourist Season was his first book, and I met him right after that came out. And he encouraged me to just write what amuses you. You know what? Write what makes you laugh at yourself. Write what pleases you. And so this is why it's not quite so cozy.
So cozy.
I love drama, and I also love adventure and the stress and, if somebody getting caught someplace that they shouldn't be, and how are they going to get out of it? And so that is a little turn from the cozy genre specifically, but no sex, no cursing. I will say in the PG movie industry, you're allowed to drop the F-bomb one time in a PG movie. And so my bad guy gets to say the F-bomb one time.
One time.
Well placed. Yes. That's all he gets.
That's all he gets. So the first book that you published, book one, is Dying for Dominos.
Dying for Dominos.
Dying for Dominos. So just kind of give us a little overview really of that particular book, if you don't mind.
Well, it's a series. That's the first book in a series, the Cardboard Cottage Mystery Series. Cardboard Cottage because the main protagonist, Amy Sparks, she owns a vintage game store in a small town called Bluff Springs. I have no idea where that is. And somewhere in the northern part of Arkansas. And she and her friends play games together. And so each of the books in the series has a game in the title. That's sort of the tie. And that's also a very cozy genre instance. So in Dying for Dominoes, they play dominoes every week on the back deck. And Zelda, one of Amy's best friends, wants her husband gone, husband number 4, gone. And then he's found dead. And so Amy thinks a premeditated murder has happened at the domino table. And she goes off into the back roads of Arkansas trying to find the facts and running into fibbery and running into all kinds of trouble before she finally finds herself and her measure of friendship and courage for herself, and then also hunts down a killer with some help from friends.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I love it. You've got some people that are watching who have already read your book. I love Miss Sanabro, bless her. She says, so in Dominoes, who are the present day actresses who play Amy and the girls in the Dying for Dominoes, the movie?
I don't know. People ask me that all the time. I'm like, what? I can barely write a book, let alone. So I don't know. I really don't know. They have to be, they're not glamorous by any stretch. Although Zelda's kind of glamorous, but she's just kooky. Okay. I don't know. What does she think? What does Sine think?
What do you think, Sine? Tell us. Tell us what you think, Sine. Thanks for watching. Well, all right. So Cardboard Cottage Mysteries, a series then. So I'm guessing, tell us the book number 2, your title for number 2.
So in book 1, the whole scenario, the inciting incident is that Zelda wants to celebrate her 50th birthday on a cruise with all of her friends, her 4 friends aboard, her 3 friends, all 4 of them aboard. And she wants her husband to pay for all of it, all 4 of them. And he refuses, and hence he's just got to go. And it's not really the reason, but that's sort of the inciting incident. And so in book 2, Dice on a Deadly Sea, they are on Zelda's 50th birthday cruise. And of course, another husband dies. And I will say that, they are now, none of them are married. So it's not their husbands that are dying. In book 1, somebody's husband dies of the 4. But there are lots of husbands in the world. I get to kill off as many as I want. Right?
You can.
So it's somebody else's husband that dies, but they, of course, just stick themselves into something. So they're on their birthday cruise. They're in the Galapagos Islands, which I did have the just great privilege and pleasure to be on a private yacht in the Galapagos. And so I really was able to share that information, sort of interweave it into the experience. And so the 4 friends bump into a dead man on deck.
Oh my gosh.
Zelda just is absolutely panicked that he's going to ruin the cruise and they're going to have to turn around. And so it gets suggested in the heat of the moment that they hide the body
Oh
And
no.
and if there is no body, then there can't be any crime. So they hide the body. Well, that's just a reckless idea altogether. So their reckless deed lands them in peril, of course.
Of
They're on a
course.
small ship with only 100 people. So that's just a scary thing to know that there's a murderer on board. And they charm their way through some shark-infested waters, and they have a mud spa they didn't anticipate. And they run into a sexy pirate who has something to hide.
Oh my gosh.
They're charged with reeling in the killer before they just make them get off the boat alive, you know?
These ladies just sound like they've got calamity written all over them, don't they?
Yeah, but they're so smart. They are so smart. They're great liars. And in fact, Perudo is a game in dice, the dice game. And the second one is called Perudo. It's a very ancient game. It's also called Liar's Dice. And they excel at lying.
Oh, goodness. So, all this character development, I mean, do you find yourself, finding people that are kind of in your circle that you maybe are inspired by to,
If I did.
You don't have any friends who have killed their husbands, have you?
I wouldn't tell you if I did.
You know where all the bodies are buried.
Yeah, I know where the bodies are buried. In fact, they're buried under a stand of pondberry, which is a endangered species in Arkansas, and you will never dig that up.
Never dig that up. Oh, that's a good thing. That's good thinking.
I think that characters, just to address your question, characters
Yes.
are amalgam of, I am an eavesdropper. If you see me staring at you in a restaurant, I'm listening to your conversation or trying to figure out what you're saying by your body language. I think authors are kind of like that anyway.
Yes.
And so stories are an amalgam. And I was amazed at things that, in fact, in my acknowledgments of the second book, which is just headed to press, I realized that things that I did in my 20s are showing back up in this book as experiences. It was really kind of fun. So it's a little this and a little that's a mishmash, It's sort of like my name. My name is a mashup of many different names, a pen name. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, your inquiring minds are wanting to know. Here, Faith is obviously now. Faith,
what does she want to know?
I think she's probably in reference to. Do you find your characters from your friends?
I'm not going to tell you.
Faith, you happen to know that you're in the book? Oh, girl.
I have had people they'll say, is so-and-so, and I'm not going to tell you, but it's really kind of funny who they think is, it's a fictional town. I mean, it's not based in Eureka Springs. So,
we certainly have plenty of characters here in Eureka Springs. So
we do, and if they don't live here, they come in here to shop. So
that's right.
We have a great opportunity to eavesdrop on other people's conversations. One of the best thing I ever heard was I was in a bowling alley having breakfast, and the woman in the booth next to me was calling the B&B she had stayed at in Eureka Springs the night before. I was not in town, it was somewhere else, and to ask if the maid had found the gun she had put under the mattress. And I was like, God. So you write that down, and somewhere that'll show up, because what a great line, did you find the gun?
Did you find the gun? Oh my God.
Okay.
Well, there you go. I'm going to remind me next time I go to a B&B and out of town, maybe I should check under the mattress before I get nested in. Wow. So the second book is going to press then. It's when is it going to be available, do you think?
May 10th is the release date. If you're a VIP member, you may get it a little bit before, depending on whether I hand deliver it or mail it.
Okay.
On how the shipping system, whether it has recovered from COVID as well. Everything got slowed down along with everything else. So, it's a process. But, I'm almost at the point where I push the button and then just sit back and bite my nails.
Isn't it?
I do have a proof coming to me in a few days, and I'll be able to look at it to make sure that I haven't.
Okay. So people can go and pre-order then if they can. How do they do that? I mean,
it's available. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's I get excited.
Of course you do.
So it's available on Amazon, of course, because that is the world's biggest retailer, like it or not. But it is available through Ingram Spark, so it's available to any bookstore, your favorite bookstore. All you have to do is ask them to order it, and they will. You can ask your library to order it, and they will. It's also available at janeelzey.com. I will sign it and send you some swag to go along with it, and mail it right to your doorstep if you would like to have that option. The ebook is available only through Amazon at this time. So it's really available everywhere. I don't know that it's in any bookstore, on any shelf in any bookstore, but it could be.
Could be.
All you have to do is ask. It's available in town at several places. I've autographed some copies and I have them around town. Curated by La Vie, which is in the Group W Bench Corner. I don't know if outsiders know about that, but there's a beautiful new shop. And they have a handmade game section. So we're premiering it there as well.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, and they're great guys. So it's really a nice little addition. And then Hobbies at Homestead and a couple of their stores, the Game Keepers, is that the name of it?
Yes.
And also Sugar and Spite, I think is what it's called. It's available for sale there. And also at Route 62 up on the highway, they have a great collection of Arkansas crafts and all kinds of things, War Eagle Mill and all of that. And it's available there as well. And those are autographed copies. If you don't care about an autograph, and I don't know why you would, but if you want an autographed copy, it's there for me.
Absolutely want an autograph. Absolutely. So JaneElzey.com is the homing place to find everything about you. And so you can go there and check out everything about Jane.
Everything I'm going to tell you anyway.
Everything you're going to tell us about you. That's right. Well, we'll dig deeper next time we talk to you, maybe. Okay. So with the second book coming out in May, and are you going to continue with the series, or do you think you're going to move towards something new? I mean, completely new, because this is such a great series going for you.
I'm on fire.
Yes, you are.
My characters are waking me up in the middle of the night and go, write this down. Right now, it's like I get up, I can barely see the keyboard. Third book is called Poison, Parcheesi, and Wine. It features the wine country of Arkansas, of course. And I don't really know exactly what happens yet. I'm still plotting. But they all pick up each other. You know, there are hints and clues in each one. I mean, the murder mystery is unique to each one, but it is a series, and so I like to play with your memory a little bit and remind you that we did this last time. Here we are doing it again. Oh my God, her husband, he's dead. And so, and I have, so the wine country of Arkansas is sort of the focus point of this next one. Poison, Parcheesi, and Wine.
I love it.
Maybe February, March, maybe May of 2022. It's really hard to write more than one a year. It's a big process. It's a really big process.
I can tell. I mean, I'm just looking at all the multiple layers just in the short paragraph synopsis of what your book's about. It's very, very multi-layered. I love it. It just feels so rich. The characters do. And you have a really unique talent of really painting the picture and bringing them to life, full life. And I would have to say, that is who you are. I mean, your friendships and your personality, very animated, and always a pleasure to be around you, Jane. And we just can't wait to see you continue with the success. And we're just so happy that you chose Eureka Springs as your home.
Thank you.
You fit right in here. We know Eureka Springs has all these wonderful titles that, we're the home of the misfits, the biggest open air asylum. We have all these things, but we have more than anything, I think, some of the most talented people, artists and writers who are really drawn to our area because we're just so colorful, right?
We are a town of creatives. We are such a beautiful town of creatives. The creative mind that is in Eureka Springs is just absolutely, it's inspiring. I mean, you just turn a corner and are inspired by somebody else's, just their gift. It's just really exciting.
It is.
And, I came here on vacation 30 years ago and then just never went home. I thought,
gosh, that happens all the time. How many times have we heard that? I've often kidded with all my clients that come here for their wedding. I say, you can come here and about, the third visit, something shifts in your mind about the third visit. And by the fifth time you've come to Eureka Springs, you're asking the locals, okay, who do I use as a realtor? Because people are just drawn here. Well, Jane, I'm so thrilled that you took the time out of your busy schedule to sit with us and chat. And you guys get with her on her website, pre-order that book. And if you haven't already read the first book, you guys need to get that book in your hand. I have a feeling one day it's going to be a real collector here. So, and get a signature, for goodness sakes, from Miss Jane. All right. Thank you so much, Jane. Appreciate you so much. Thanks for joining us.
Great fun.
We'll see you next time. Yes, and one more time, let's look and see if anybody else. Oh, yes, of course. So Faith piped in, and she says she's going to want her signed copy. So just so you know, she wants her signed copy.
Okay.
Faith, we'll make sure that happens. Thanks for joining us, Faith. We'll see you next time, Jane. Appreciate you. Bye-bye. Bye. Oh, what a joy. What a true joy. She is such a wonderful lady, and we are very lucky that she is here in Eureka Springs. A wonderful celebrated author. Then, there's a wonderful organization here, if you're not aware of it, here in Eureka Springs, the Writers Colony, which a lot of writers come to Eureka Springs for a sabbatical to write. So there is a magic that happens here in Eureka Springs that inspires people to jot down all of their creative energy and share it with the rest of the world. And so we are thrilled that Jane and others find inspiration not only from their travels, but from their own hometown. Thanks again, Jane, for being with us. And thank you to all of you who are watching us live. We appreciate you joining Eureka Springs channel. And we appreciate all the people that believe in what we're doing. We're trying to, celebrate all the good things in life. Lord knows we've had enough of horrible things this past year. And so Eureka Springs channel is just trying to bring together the more positive things in life and to share with all of you out there why we love Eureka Springs, Arkansas, so that you can make your way to us. And so thank you again for joining us, and we appreciate you. And I'd also like to thank all of our sponsors who are making this channel possible. We are volunteers, and there are people out there who are helping make this be the channel. We're creating it together. And so thank you to all of our sponsors for helping out. We'll see you next time. We'll actually be doing another live stream here at 5 o'clock today. We're having a double header. So join us again at 5 o'clock. We've got another special guest coming up. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 5.